Hello there, my name is Hido and I'm feeling a bit artistic today, you know. I'm going to paint a picture here. Anyway, Anello the Painter. 3 mana, 1/3 with Death Touch. It's a vampire assassin and the first instant and sorcery spell you cast each turn has Casualty 2. Did you ever watch Casualty? If you're British, it was or if you're not British, you probably know what it is if you're British. It's a program about ambulances. You know, it ran for like 25 years. Crap is the word I'd use to describe it, but you know, quite entertaining. Anyway, Casualty 2, what does that mean? As you cast this spell, you may sacrifice a creature with power 2 or greater. When you do, copy that spell, and you may choose new targets for the copy. So copying spells is on the agenda here. Really, really awesome commander. I played it recently. I'm gonna be putting up a video of that gameplay, and it was fun. I didn't play the deck. I played. You'll say it was horrendous, but a really cool commander. And what else is cool is subscribing to this channel. Join me on my journey through Magic the Gathering. I'm going to do lots of decks like this, so come along for the ride. And then that brings me on to number 5. And at number 5, I've got Puppet Stitcher because we want 2/2s on the board. You know, it's the first sort of place you go to. We want to make tokens to sacrifice to our commander, or at least the spells we want to cast with our commander. So Puppet Stitcher, 3 mana for a 2/3 human wizard. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, create a 2/2 black zombie creature token with Decayed. It can't block. When it attacks, sacrifice it at end of combat. Who cares? We're going to be sacrificing it ourselves. Goodbye, token. And at the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 3 or more creature tokens, which we probably will, you may transform Puppet Stitcher into the Puppet Factory. Artifact, creature tokens you control lose all abilities and have base power until it's 3/3. Beginning of your upkeep, you may transform Puppet Factory back. So this is really awesome because we can turn all of the maybe 1/1 tokens or like the Decayed tokens into big 3/3 beaters, and then if they all die to a board wipe, we just flip it back into our 2/3. And because it's a 2/3, well, we can casualty it, we can sacrifice it. That was the theme song. I've not just lost my mind completely. Oh, although it is waning. Then we've got Shark Typhoon, 6 mana for an enchantment. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, so that's planeswalkers, everything else as well, create a XX blue shark creature token with flying, where X is that spell's converted mana cost. I'm gonna leave this line, we'll keep it to the end. When you, oh god, no, it says cycling. Anyway, it's got cycling for 2 mana and X. So discard this card, draw a card. When you cycle Shark Typhoon, create a XX blue shark creature token with flying. So excellent way of making tokens. Superb. Great at every point in the game. It's amazing. It's just wonderful. Cycling guy. Then there's Talrand Sky Summoner, 4 mana for a 2/2. Wait, we can sacrifice him. But wait, there's more. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, create a 2/2 blue Drake creature token. Pretty good. You've seen that guy a million times. Although, I prefer things like this. Metallurgic Summonings, 5 mana enchantment. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, create a XX Colors Construct artifact creature token, where X is that spell's converted mana cost. So we get big guys off this. Exactly the same as Shark Typhoon. Then we've got 5 mana, exile Metallurgic Summonings. Return all instant sorcery cards from your graveyard to your hand. So we can do it all over again. Activate only if you control 6 or more artifacts. So that's not just 6 tokens from this. That could be our mana ramp, rocks like that. Or potentially if you want to be making treasures, some treasures. So a great card. I love it. And then, you know, it's got spikes and stuff, hasn't it? Then we've got Deka Fractal Theorist. A more interesting Talrand, in my opinion. So 5 mana, 3/3 human wizard. Magecraft, whenever you cast or copy an instant sorcery spell, create a 0/0 green and blue fractal creature token. Put X/1/1 counters on it, where X is that spell's mana value. Fantastic. The fact that we get a token from the copy as well, because our commander is going to be copying a lot of spells, is amazing. So that's 2 of every token that we get. Oh, I love it, and there's a lot of copying coming up. Then, this is nothing to do with tokens, but it's fantastic with instant sorcery spells. Niv Mizzet Perun, 6 mana for a 5/5 dragon wizard. Can't be countered, flying. When you draw a card, it deals 1 damage to any target, and whenever a player, not just me, well, you, I guess, you're the one going to be playing this deck, cast an instant sorcery spell, you draw a card, which means you pink something. Oh, so good, so much value. It is 6 mana, but we can get up there, don't you worry. And that's a nice collection of token makers and also things that benefit from instant sorceries. And that takes me on to number 4. What have we got at number 4? We've got spells that make tokens. And never return is not never to return. Yeah, there, it's a 2 between these ones. I like those naming conventions, they're awesome. This is a removal spell. Yes, it's a sorcery, not the best, but it's 2 spells in 1, which we can copy, twice with our commander. And the second half of it, return, makes us a token. So, never destroy target creature or planeswalker. Yes, sorcery speed, not the best. But return, aftermath, so you can cast this only from your graveyard. Exile target card from a graveyard. Create a 2/2 black zombie creature token. That's quite good to copy, isn't it? Because then we can copy more things. Awesome, awesome card. And it's 7 mana, if it's off the battlefield. Not useful for this deck, but it's cool to know. Then we've got Theoretical Duplication. This is going to make us lots of tokens, and it's a great card for us to copy. 3 mana for an instant. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under an opponent's control this turn, create a token that's a copy of that creature. And it's an instant, so our commander only works on the first instant sorcery spell each turn, so having instants is incredibly important because then we can get that effect on our opponent's turn. So we're going to sacrifice a token, get 2 copies of this. What's going to get us 2 tokens, which we can sacrifice later to get more tokens potentially. Wonderful card. And it's not just, we might not just end up with 1 token. If our opponent plays 2 or 3 things, we can end up with 2 or 3 things. Hey! Wonderful, wonderful card. Then, we're making tokens. Rite of Replication is incredible. It's a great card to copy. 4 mana for a sorcery with kicker of 5. Create a token that's a copy of target creature. If the spell was kicked, create 5 of those tokens instead. So for 9 mana and sacrificing a 2/2, we could potentially have 10 copies of Solemn Simulacrum. We're going to be searching up our entire deck. Wonderful card, absolutely fantastic. Will win games as well. Maybe make 10 copies of Crater Hoof Behemoth. Just watch the maths melt your brain. Then there's Clone Legion. 9 mana for a sorcery. For each creature target player controls, create a token that's a copy of that creature. We can do it twice, so we get 2 copies. Hey! Really, really great card. It's really splashy, and it's a big effect that you want to see in Commander. Then we've got Widespread Brutality and the Amass mechanic. 4 mana for a sorcery, amass 2. When the army is amassed, deal... Then, not when, it's a T, Adam, Jesus. It deals damage equal to its power to each non-army creature. So the way this will work is we'll copy this, we're sacrificing a 2/2. We'll amass 2. We'll make an army. It'll deal 2 damage to anything. Then the second copy will add on to that army because the armies, they combine together if you already have one. And then it'll deal 4 damage to everything. So wonderful, great board wipe, although it will kill our commander unless we buffed it in some way. Then similarly for Amass, we've got Honor of the God Pharaoh. 3 mana for a sorcery, additional cost to cast, discard a card, draw 2 cards, amass 1. So if we're copying this, we end up with a 2/2 token, which by God we can use to casualty something else. Ha! And we've drawn 4 cards. I mean, that's the main reason you're doing this, isn't it, really? Then Empty the Pits is a phenomenal token maker. Empty the Pits, quad black, double X. Ooh. Delve. For each card you exile while you cast this, it pays for 1 generic mana. And put X 2/2 black zombie creature tokens onto the battlefield. Tapped. So they're not tapped and attacking, just outright tapped. But it is an instant, so we can do this on our opponent's end step. Sacrifice 2/2, get 2 copies of this. It's good. It's really, really good. And those are all cards which make tokens and really play into the sort of style of deck I'd go for in here. That takes me on to number 3. And at number 3, we've got bonus round. So our commander can copy spells. Let's copy spells a bit more, shall we? So 3 mana for a sorcery until end of turn. Whenever a player casts an instant or sorcery spell, that player copies it and may choose new targets for that copy. So if we make a copy of bonus round with it on the stack, it just spirals into madness. It's ridiculous. It's just spells flying everywhere. You're not sure if you've cast them or not. The turns go on forever, so if you want to make everyone miserable, this is a brilliant card. Wonderful. Love it. Then 1,000 Year Storm, very similar sort of effect, but it's not a spell, which is why it's number 2 here. It's not as good as bonus round. 6 mana enchantment. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, copy it for each other instant or sorcery spell you've cast before it this turn. You may choose new targets for the copies. Absolutely insane. Can get really out of hand. You're going to be drawing tons of cards. You're going to be dealing lots of damage. You're going to be doing tokeny things. Amazing card. Really, really amazing. I'll skip one. Then we got Narset's Reversal. 2 mana for an instant. Copy target instant sorcery spell and return it to its owner's hand. You may choose new targets for the copy. Wonderful. Excellent bit of interaction. One of the things I always find with these sort of spell slinger style decks is sometimes you just don't have any interaction. And this is a copy spell. You can bounce your own spell, and then recast it. But you can interact with your opponents, maybe get a ramp spell, something like that. Then Galvanic Iteration. Great because it has flashback. 2 mana instant whenever you cast the next instant sorcery spell this turn. Copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. So thanks to the fact it's instant, we can use it on our opponent's turn. We can copy things, and we can copy the copies, and it can just spiral out of control. Then we got Errant Street Artist, a really cool legendary. 1 blue for a legendary creature, human rogue with flash, defender, and haste. Weird. It's a 0/3 though, and you can pay 2 and tap it. Copy target spell you control that wasn't cast. You may choose new targets for the copy. So our commander, when it sacrifices a creature and creates a copy, that is a spell, but we're not casting it. So we can copy the copies, if you get where I'm coming from. Really, really cool card and fits really well. If only it had 2 power, that would make it even better. Then we've got Radiant Performer. Speaking of 2 power, it's a 5 mana 2/2. Human Wizard with Flash. When it enters the battlefield, if you cast it from your hand, choose target spell or ability that targets only a single permanent or player. Copy that spell or ability for each other permanent or player that spell or ability could target. Each copy targets a different one of those permanents on players. This can get insane. If you're targeting something like Chaos Warp, which can target any permanent, well, you just Chaos Warp the entire board. That's so ridiculous. And you're going to have so many copies of that spell. Oh, you'll see in a second why I'm loving on copies here. Finally, we've got Expansion and Explosion. Expansion, instant, copy target instant or sorcery spell with converted mana cost 4 or less. You may choose new targets for the copy. And then Explosion, which is a great card that you might want to copy. Explosion deals X damage to any target. Target player draws X cards. Oof. If you're casting this for like 7, draw 7 cards, deal 7 damage, but then you can copy it over and over again. Game winning play. So those are some like copy abilities and spells. Really, really awesome to see. And that brings me on to number 2. So we've got a lot of copies and things, and Magecraft is insane with that. Stormkiln Artist is a 4 mana 2/2. Gets +1 soul for each artifact you control. So obviously we're going to be making a Voltron deck with a lot of equipment. Haha, I joke. Magecraft, when you cast or copy an instant sorcery spell, create a treasure token. So that Radiant Performer, say it, copied something and we cast a spell on 12 different permanents. Well, that's 12 mana you've just made from Stormkiln Artist. Amazing, because it cares about the copies. And our commander's ability copies a spell, gets us a treasure. Wonderful. Archmage Emeritus is a 4 mana 2/2 with Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or spell, draw a card. Ooh, so good. You're going to be absolutely churning through your deck with this bad boy. And he's a 2/2. Oh, incredible. Then we've got Arcane Bombardment, brand new card here. 6 mana enchantment. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell each turn, cast your first. Reading is not my strong suit. Then copy each card exiled with Arcane Bombardment. You may cast a number of copies without paying a mana cost. I missed something out in the middle. Anyway, you get a free spell, and then you get more and more free spells. And if you're casting instants on your opponent's turn, just spirals. Absolutely fantastic. Then Sedgemoor Witch is a 3 mana 3/2 menace. Ward, pay 3 life, so your opponents have to pay 3 life in addition to like Doomblading this. Oh, it's black. You can't Doomblade it. Christ, I'm falling to pieces here. Magecraft, whenever you cast or copy an instant or spell, create a 1/1 black and green pest creature token with. When this creature dies, you gain 1 life. So it can't be used, the 1/1s can't be used to, casualty our spells, but just making a massive board state for copying a bunch of spells is pretty good, it's nice. Delicious. Then we've got Ral Storm Conduit. 4 mana, 4 loyalty planeswalker. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or spell, it deals 1 damage to target opponent or planeswalker. With all the copies we're making, that could potentially ping someone to death. Pew, pew, pew. Then +2, scry 1, and then -2. When you cast your next instant or spell this turn, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. That's good, isn't it? Very nice. Very, very good. Well done, Ral. Then Professor Onyx has got a very similar sort of Magecraft ability. That writing is tiny. Why are they printing so much text? Anyway, 6 mana, 5 loyalty planeswalker. Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, each opponent loses 2 life, and you gain 2 life. Ooh, that can win some games. And you get a lot of life. You're going to get attacked in this deck. +1, you lose 1 life. Ooh, damn. Look at the top 3 cards of your library, put 1 of them into your hand, and the rest into your graveyard. -3, each opponent sacrifices a creature with the greatest power among creatures that player controls. Nice removal, commanders are generally quite big. And -8, each opponent may discard a card. If you don't, they lose 3 life. Repeat this process 6 more times. Okay, sure. The main thing we're after is the Magecraft ability. This sort of acts as an enchantment, really. On a turn, we're really going to go off and copy loads of things. We're going to pad our life total and slowly kill everyone else. And because we've got so many tokens, Octavia Living Thesis is fantastic. 10 mana for 8/8. Spell costs 8 less to cast if you have 8 or more instant sorcery spells in your graveyard. Ward 8. Magecraft, whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, target creature has base power and toughness 8/8 until end of turn. So this is amazing with all of the tokens we've got. Yes, having 8 instant sorcery in our graveyard is quite the requirement, but we should be able to get there. And then cast it for 2 mana. But then we can really go off and make all of our 1/1, 2/2 tokens into big 8/8/8/8. 8 beaters and absolutely cave someone's skull in. So, Magecraft is good. That's the takeaway from that section, which takes me on to number 1. And at number 1, because we're copying so many spells, I wanted a spell that we could copy that I think doesn't see any play really in Commander. Hadouken! Hadouken! It's Lightning Bolt, hidden as a Hadouken. 1 red for a Hadouken. Deal 3 damage to any target. And I like to see this as a challenge, really. Lightning Bolt is obviously a very good Magic card in formats where you have 20 life. So, can we use it and make enough copies of it to kill our opponents, or use it as a board wipe or something like that? Like that Radiant Performer. If we cast it on a Hadouken, well, we're going to get a board wipe where we deal 3 damage to everything and 3 damage to our opponents. I like the challenge of this, and I challenge you to be able to win with Hadouken. Then, if we're going to be casting spells and copying them, let's have one that can win us the game. Hatred, which is what I'm feeling for myself. 5 mana for an instant, pay X life as an additional cost to cast it. That's the new templating anyway. Target creature gets +X+0 until end of turn. So, being able to copy this with our commander, say, our opponents are just sitting there. We've got a lot of tokens, by the way. You do have to, have tokens or some creatures on the board. Our opponents, they'll be like, I'm not really bothered about getting hit with a 1/1. You Hatred, sacrificing another token, and you've got 2 Hatreds going at 2 people, pay 39 life, they're dead. They're dead. It's over. Good game, sir. This could easily win you the game out of absolutely nowhere. And then, one of the best cards ever printed for Commander, Expropriate, 9 mana for a sorcery. Council's Dilemma, starting with you. Each player votes for time or money. For each time vote, take an extra turn after this one. For each money vote, choose a permanent owned by the voter and gain control of it. Exile Expropriate. So, if you make lots of copies of this, you'll end up with about 23 turns. Your opponents will have gone home by the time you finish drawing and discarding and whatever. This will just win games. Copy this spell at your own risk. Then, finally, an interesting one. We've got Din of the Fire Herd. 8 mana for a sorcery. Put a 5/5 black and red elemental creature token into play. Target opponent sacrifices a creature for each black creature you control, then sacrifices a land for each red creature you control. So if you've got a ton of tokens, this is easily going to make them sacrifice a few lands or, have to sacrifice creatures. And copying it means that we're going to be spreading that love. And as a baseline, we already get to sacrifice a land and sacrifice a creature because we get a 5/5 red elemental. But copying it, you get 2, and then all the other tokens we've got, amazingly good card. And those were my top 5. Hopefully you liked them. If you didn't, well, no accounting for taste, is there? But please do subscribe to this channel. We're making tons more videos like this. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.